I'm Mark from Top Homeowner, and today we're going to be covering the Ratio 3. This is actually a 1-year review video. So the biggest question is, now that we've owned this for a year, would we actually purchase it again? And we'd have to say yes, we would purchase it again. We enjoy the fact that we don't have to waste water, especially when it's raining, because the Ratio 3 system is tied into the internet and it understands what the weather patterns are for our local area. So while we have neighbors that are watering their yards when they're not supposed to be, and actually when it's even downpouring, our system isn't doing that because it's smart enough to understand that it doesn't need to water the lawn. So if we've had enough rain in our area, then the sprinkler system is smart enough to know to skip a watering, and it will pick back up when it's time. We also get a water bill that gives us an annual usage report. Based off of those reports, we can also tell that we've been saving money there because we haven't been using as much water to water our lawn. And in fact, we actually had an issue with our sprinkler system where it had a leak. Now, we were able to figure that out because of the Ratio unit and our water bill. We were able to see when the Ratio unit was running and what days we were spending a lot of money on our water consumption. And we were able to figure out that because those two things weren't matching up, we actually had a leak that needed to be taken care of. So we were able to save money there as well by cutting back on our water usage and fixing the leak. And I also want to talk about some of the questions that you all had from the first installation video. So I wanted to cover those in this video and help you make the best decision as to whether or not this unit is a good choice for you or if you should look for something else. Hey, so another question came in after I recorded this video. So basically the question was, will this still work if there's no internet or there's no Wi-Fi connection? And the answer is that it will. And this is directly from Ratio and their help desk, their customer support. And they say that as long as there's already an existing schedule in the Ratio unit, so as long as it's already been watering the grass and you've got everything set up, then it will continue to follow that same schedule. So as long as there's something in there to run, it's going to continue to run that even if there's no Wi-Fi connection or there's no internet. Will this unit modify the schedule based off of weather? And the answer to that is yes. It ties into the internet. It knows what to connect to the internet, and it uses a smartphone app. Then yeah, you can pretty much control it from wherever you are. This is something that has come up from a question we had about a secondary home that was located in another area. And even if you have multiple houses, you can control everything from the one app. You just have to select that house. You can modify the schedule, see if it's run, and all those things directly from the app, no matter where you are. And speaking of the app, another question that came up was whether or not you could control this from the unit itself, or if you have to use the app to make it work. So you can change the settings on this. There's not a lot of features that you can do, but you can run it, you can pause it, you can switch zones, and you can stop it from watering straight from this controller. Can you give access to someone else to be able to control your sprinkler? And the answer is you can. You can either set them up as a guest where they can just kind of pause and skip schedule, select the option to get rid of your profile so that way the new homeowner can register themselves. The other option that you have is if you've purchased a new house that has a Ratio unit and the previous homeowner didn't do that, you can contact Ratio directly, and what they'll do is they'll go through a process, and it takes about 24 hours to change ownership from the previous homeowner to you. So no matter if the previous homeowner gave you access to the sprinkler system, you can still get access to it and control it and set it up the way you want. Will this work in a desert climate, or will this work in a cold climate, or whatever climate that you're living in? Will this work in that area? And again, since this is connected to the internet and it understands your weather patterns, it knows how to control the schedule based off of the area that you live in. Also in the app, you can tell it what type of conditions exist for each of the zones that you set up in the app. So if you're watering shrubs, or if you're watering soil that's a little bit more sandy, then you can control that in the app. You can tell it what you have. You can even tell it if a zone is on a hilly area or a flat area, so it will adjust and accommodate different watershed scenarios too. Can you turn off the entire system, or can you just turn off the zones, or can you not turn it off at all? And the fact is, it's really flexible. You can turn off the entire thing. You can pause it. We just pause it for the winter, for example. You can also tell it to not water specific zones, or you can even have it start up and water a specific zone or your entire yard that's off schedule. So it doesn't have to depend on the schedule that's set in the unit. You don't have to change the schedule to water your lawn. You can actually just go and start it manually, either from the app or from the control panel itself. Does this have any issues with the Wi-Fi connection? And there were a couple of questions questions that came up in regards to Wi-Fi. One was, what do I do if I don't have a Wi-Fi connection in my garage? Will this still work? And the answer to that is you really do need to have a wireless signal in your garage. If it can't connect to your Wi-Fi, then it's not going to do you a whole lot of good because you're not going to be able to control it from the app. So you'll either need to get a router that has a larger broadcast area that can actually hit the spot in your garage where this is installed, or you're going to have to move the router a little bit closer so you can get a good signal. Those are the things that I would probably recommend. Another question came up was about a wireless mesh network and whether or not that would work as well. So if you're not familiar, a wireless mesh network is basically a wireless router that has other little routers that you can plug into different parts into your house, and it repeats the signal to extend it. Some people have had issues with the wireless mesh system, and I'm not sure if that's an issue with the Ratio controller or the wireless mesh units themselves, but that's something you should be aware of, that you can't necessarily extend the wireless mesh network in your house to be able to access the Ratio unit. Some people have been fine with it, other people have not. We actually have a wireless mesh system in this garage to help extend the signal just a little bit, and in our experience it's been fine, but it could just depend on what brand that you're using in your house.